Palak gets thrown out of the house. Appu says to Palak, tell me a princess story. She says there was a princess who was lonely because she wasn't educated and no one would befriend her. She really wanted to study. Appu says, why does a princess always want to study in your story? Because you didn't study? Palak says yes. He says, don't worry. We will both study together when I am old. I am sleepy now. He gives her the milkshake glass. Palak sees the stone. She says, where did this stone come from? Madhu looks for the stone in the house when everyone is asleep. Madhu says, that stone is calling me. She hears a noise. Madhu comes to Appu and Palak's room. She says, I hear the noise from here. It must be in this room only. Everyone wakes up to the noise. Urvashi says, what is this noise? Hema says, it ruined my sleep. Madhu says, I have to silence this stone. She stops calling the stone. Madhu says, where was this noise coming from? Urvashi says, I don't know. Palak sees the stone. Madhu hypnotizes Appu and says, you will only do what I ask. They all hear Appu screaming. Didi and Urvashi run to Appu's room. Madhu says, we should go downstairs. Appu could be in trouble. They come downstairs and see Appu. He's smiling. Palak is in front of him. Appu picks a dagger. His eyes are gleaming. Palak is scared. Appu says, do you want to save Appu? You have to kill me. I am the ghost inside her. Palak says, who are you? What do you want? Appu screams. The evil Appu says, Appu is locked inside. Stab me if you want to save Appu. Appu screams from the room, Palak, save me. The evil one says, stab me. Appu doesn't have time. Palak stabs him. He laughs. Everyone comes downstairs. Appu cries and says, why did you stab me? Urvashi runs towards Appu. Palak is confused and shocked. Madhu says, no one can save this Palak now. Urvashi and Didi cry. Palak says, this wasn't Appu. He's inside the wall. He was suffocated there. Urvashi says, shut up. You stabbed my Appu. I considered you my daughter and you killed my Appu. Palak says, no, please, it isn't what it looks like. This isn't Appu. Madhu cries and says, enough of your lies. You stabbed our Appu. I wish I kicked you out on day one. Madhu says, get out of our house. Palak says, please listen, Ma. Appu is inside the wall. Please save him. Urvashi says, Hema and Malani, call the doctor. Palak says, Appu's life is in danger. You can't see it. Urvashi says, call the doctor, someone. Palak says to Madhu, please Didi, save Appu. Madhu says, no one can stop me from becoming an icon now. Appu is being treated. Urvashi says, what did we do? We brought Palak to save Appu and this is what she did. Madhu says, in heart, I have to bring out the real Appu from the wall and hide this fake Appu. A smoke starts coming out of fake Appu. Madhu says, before he disappears, I have to bring the real one back. He can actually die. Palak comes to her uncle's place. Kavita says, you? What are you doing here? Did your in-laws kick you out? You sisters won't ever let us live in peace. Her uncle says, don't enter the house. Madhu says, I am with Appu. You see the doctor off. Everyone goes out of the room. Madhu says, I have to replace this fake Appu before they come back. Palak's uncle says, go back to your in-laws now. They were great people. Kavita says, go from here. Palak says, where would I go? Kavita says, this isn't an orphanage. Nenu says, D. Uncle says, if you want me not to tell Nenu about your crazy husband, go back to your in-laws and keep giving us money. Mohana picks Appu and says, I should replace him before they come. She leaves him on the floor. Urvashi says, how did he come here? Madhu says, I don't know. I came to the room and saw him like this. Palak calls Urvashi. Urvashi says, we have nothing to do with you. We married you to Appu to fix his life, not ruin. Palak faints. Pandit Jen, some people pick her. Urvashi tells Didi Palak called. It told her we can't have her back in this house. Urvashi says, we thought Palak was good for Appu, and yet she did all this. Madhu says, you will never know I did all this. I will become an Akayan. Palak comes to the temple and cries. Palak says, please God. Trust me. There's some harm in that house. There's a black power there. No one is trusting me. Panditji comes and says, I trust you. I know there's a witch in that house. Whatever you see is real. Palak tells him everything. Panditji says, was the mark on glass and stone the same? Palak says, yes, I am sure they were the same. He says there's a witch who lives in that house as a human. Palak says, who? Panditji says, Madhulika. Palak says, what? This can't be true. She's Appu's sister. Panditji says, a witch can never kill her son. She's Appu's sister. Madhu says, Margo and sleep. You will fall sick. I will call you once Appu wakes up. Urvashi leaves. Urvashi hears Appu screaming. Palak says, I can't believe Madhu is a witch. And even if she is, how can I fight with her? Panditji says, God has sent you to fight with that witch. Panditji says, you are the one who's going to help me. Appu says, Madhu is a bad girl. I won't talk to her. She hurt me. Madhu says, we were playing a game. Appu says, she locked me in a wall. Urvashi says, what? She recalls what Palak said. Palak gets ready to come back to the house with Panditji. She does poor that hurts.